Like we had music and films and everything is in English, right? But I didn't speak English until I was 21, 22. So I moved from Mexico, from my hometown, to United States because I wanted to learn English. I wanted to speak English. So I moved to United States, and that was my goal, to speak English. Welcome to another episode of Life and Business. My name is Rosa. I am your host. I am a business and marketing coach, helping creative entrepreneurs to believe in themselves, their talent, their art, so they can make more money. This podcast is about talking openly about money, family, kids, life, and business, and how these ingredients are perfect recipe in a daily basis. And today's episode is running a business as a non-native English speaker. And what I have chosen to talk about this, because as you know, I am from Mexico. I've been living in Europe 8 years. You will say, why are you not running your business in Spanish? I used to run my business in both languages, Spanish and English, but it takes a lot of time and effort. Having a business in 2 languages, it's really hard. And this time, because I have a baby, and she was staying with me at home, so I couldn't do both, and I decided to go all in English. And it's been scary, believe me. Like many times I have told myself, why do I want to do it in English? I could do it in Spanish. It's easier. But this happened because, as you know, I'm really spiritual. I meditate a lot, and I hear my intuition. For those who are in a more advanced spiritual journey, they will understand that everyone have guides. So we have guides. The universe guides you. You have entities. I don't know how to explain it, but you have these entities that help you. And my guides told me that I needed to do it in English, because in English it's easier to reach more people. Spanish, also Spanish, you reach a lot of people, but English is the international language. And I think for creatives and for this industry, the creative industry, English is the language. It's weird that a creative doesn't speak English, or at least understand. So as long I speak English, I can reach more people with my mission. And my mission is that you believe in yourself, that you know that you have a talent, and you don't need to suffer to make that money. You don't need to suffer to feel that you're doing some good to the world, because we have this misconception where creatives believe that they need to suffer. And you're not here for that. You're here to show that talent to the world in the best way possible. And that's why I'm here telling you this. And that's why I chose English to talk about this mission. Today, I'm going to share 4 points that why you should run a business in English if you feel that's calling you, if you feel that you should have a business in English, or you should help your career in English and you're afraid because it's not your first language. And believe me, I think all of us that we're running a business in a language that is not ours, it's scary. And also we doubt ourselves a lot. The first thing is do it anyway. If you don't dare to do things, who's going to do it for you? We put off so many things in life because we are so scared of doing it, but we know deep in our heart that we need to do that thing in order for us to go forward. So if English is one of those things, then do it anyway. When I started my business, I knew I wanted to have an international business. Even though I was living in Spain, I created the business in a way that it was English and Spanish. So I created a blog and I was doing entries in Spanish and English. I mean, you could have read those first entries in my blog, and they were full of grammar and language, grammar errors. And I dare just to put it out there and said, and I had at that point, I had this mantra that said, fuck it. Like if I felt like, I know I shouldn't do it, and then I kept trying to convince myself. And then I said to myself, fuck it, I'll do it. Fuck it. I just put myself out there. And that's what I did with English. So years later, I hired a copywriter. And then she was like, yes, your posts were really bad in the beginning, but I can see it got better. Maybe you might think that I learned English from very little. I grew up with it like everyone else in the world. Like we had music and films and everything is in English, right? But I didn't speak English until I was 21, 22. So I moved from Mexico, from my hometown, to United States because I wanted to learn English. I wanted to speak English. So I moved to United States, and that was my goal, to speak English. It was really bad. And obviously with the time, it has gotten much better. And now I feel comfortable even to have a podcast in English. And I know my English is really good, but I'm not gonna lie to you, this is one of my weakest points. Like I feel really nervous with my English. And then somebody suggested that I should have a copywriter because I wrote really bad. And at that time, I didn't have the money to hire someone. But I did have a really, really good sales coach. And she told me, you know what? The big church out there, the big people, they don't speak great English. They are good at making business. They are good at their thing. So it doesn't matter if they think your English is bad, because the people who think your English is bad won't hire you anyway. So you focus on the people who wants to hire you, who wants to work with you, who think your work is amazing. And that's what I did. So I kept going forward with my English. I'm trying to work on it, but it's just difficult, because I know it's not my first language. And I want my English to be excellent. So I don't want that to be perfect, but I'm an Excel person. So I want everything I present, I want it to be well done. Even though I know it's not, and even though I have grammar errors, it's just okay. I'm showing myself out there, and then I say to myself, fuck it. That's the way it is. And then second, practice. This is what happened to me. Like my English was good enough, but when I write it, or when I was also speaking in front of an audience, I got really, really nervous. And also doing business in English, that was kind of difficult for me as well. But I did it, and I practiced. It's like, okay, I didn't do it that well this time, but I know where it didn't go that well. And then next time I try to do it better. And then next time, and then practice. For me, that's my philosophy. If you want to master something, if you want to get good at something, or not even good at something, but you need it, and then you start practicing, right? You don't need to be good at something, and you won't be good at something in the beginning. That doesn't happen. Even the big elite athletes or big musicians, they've been playing and they've been doing their thing for many, many years, and they keep training. So that's the practice that we need. So I'm telling you, practice. For me, that's practicing on social media, and also practicing takes the weight, or takes that anxiety around things that you need to do. So practicing makes it easy. And also you don't need to prove to anyone, because you're practicing, right? It's just, you are just putting yourself out there and just saying, this is what I need to do. Number 3, show up, because you're practicing. And if you're doing this in English, then you need to show up. Like, this is what I want. This is what I will do. And this is how I do it. Even social media, speaking, don't avoid things that you know it will help you to get better. Show up. And the most important, I think, is showing up on social media, because for creatives, for entrepreneurs who are in this journey trying to promote themselves, social media is something that is there for you and it's for free. And that's a place where you can actually practice and actually you can show up. So showing up on social media will be a very helpful task to do. And believe me, in the beginning, you will feel weird, but then it will pay off because you will feel comfortable. You will feel comfortable because you're already talking about things that you like in another language. So it's just adding that extra thing. That's the language, right? Number 4, find the support. Find that people, and I think I have talked about this in other episodes, finding that people that support you, finding that people that make you feel that you are worth it, that you can do it. So for example, when somebody suggested that I should have a copywriter because my English was really bad, I had a sales coach who told me, you are great at what you're doing. You're great at what you're doing because you already have trolls. And when you're speaking up and when you show up, people will criticize you. If it's good, if it's bad. Why her is having more success than me, that I'm a native speaker? Why? Why she's having more success than me? It's not because of the language skills, but that's because you are showing up and you're practicing. And you're telling other people what you're doing. And plus, you're doing it in a different language. Well, for you, for doing it that way. And for being brave enough, for showing up to tell the people, I am here and I'm not going anywhere. And this goes also for those people who are learning another language. It doesn't matter if it's English, it can be another language. I am learning Danish and it's hard, but I'm speaking it. I am trying my best to do everything in Danish. It's not, and I feel my Danish is not there yet. But in the end, I want my language skills in Danish to be good enough. And I show up and I practice. I wish I could practice more. But, you know, I do my best. And that's the thing. We need to be kind to ourselves. We are telling ourselves grotesque things, like we don't treat ourselves well. And sometimes we say to ourselves things that you wouldn't say to your best friend. So treat yourself as you treat your friend. Treat yourself as you treat someone you love. We forget that. We forget to treat ourselves nicely. And we say to ourselves really bad things. And it shouldn't be that way because you live with yourself. No one else is going to love you the way you love you. So sometimes we're looking for the love outside ourselves, and the love is inside us. So treat yourself kindly, nicely, and you're so brave for showing up and for speaking another language. Remember what they said. Having an accent is a sign of someone who is doing something outside their comfort zone because they're speaking another language that is not their mother tongue. So if you are thinking in running your professional career or your business in English or in another language, it doesn't necessarily need to be English, but in another language, I'm telling you, you can do it. You just need to do the 4 things I said. It's do it anyway. That's number 1. Number 2, practice. Remember, practice makes a master. Number 3, show up. And the best way to show up is social media. And number 4, find the support that you need. Find the community. Find a coach. Find someone who reminds you how good you are in doing things, because you are great at doing what you do, and you need a reminder, and you need someone to tell you that, and it's completely fine. Like, you need to have people in your corner who gets you and who understand what you're going through. So this was the episode for today. Thank you for being here, and please leave a review, write something nice about the podcast, so that way I can reach more people and I can reach more creators, more entrepreneurs to believe in themselves and their talent. And subscribe, be a subscriber in any of the platforms where the podcast is. So see you next time, and thank you for being here. Bye.